What I'm going to purely focus on here is making a multiplayer game, the logic behind it, and how you use Unreal Engine. This is an entry sort of. You should be able to. I mean, this is kind of my first game in Unreal Engine 4. Bit of a bit of a learning curve. It was hard work trying to get a multiplayer game working when you've never used the engine before. But that said, thoroughly enjoyable. Being able to make a multiplayer game is, I guess, one of the most exciting things about computer games in general. So why not just dive right in? So here we are. I've just created a new project. I'm in version 4.11.2, which I think is the latest version. I've got a blank project. It's in Blueprint. I'm using this. We don't want any starter content. I'm using maximum quality, and I'm focused on desktop because that's what I'm working on. We'll leave it there, and we'll call this my tutorial, MP tutorial. I might have to move the keyboard. Right, let's create this project, and it should open. Where's it going to open? Yes, that's what we want. So blank project is not always blank, is it? It's not. There's some stuff in here. We've got skybox. We've got you got these atmospheric fog, floor, light source, player start, and a sky sphere. A sky sphere. We don't need them. We can delete them. We don't really need them in the level. I'm just going to get rid of them. I'm just going to get rid of my lights. I get rid of my sky sphere. I kind of leave these things in because sometimes you just like to see stuff. Look, there's a cube. So I guess you're generally familiar with 3D environments. I can you can get used to moving around here. Double mouse click to move around and whatnot. Empty area. No, an empty cylinder. Look at that. Press the space bar. Let's rotate that around. Let's press space bar again, and we can make it and space bar again. And yeah, we can do all sorts of stuff with that. Press the play button. Yeah, that was me falling into oblivion. Where have I landed? Oh look, it's over there. Let's just leave it. Right, okay, enough playing around. Let's get started. I'm using WASD keys to move forwards and backwards, but I'm not using this. This is this tutorial was set up to be used on some very low-end machines, some very basically machines without graphics cards. And what we're going to do is we don't need this window, but I'm going to leave it there anyway because it's just the default window. You wouldn't get rid of that ordinarily. What I will be doing, and I'm going to start us here because all good developers know you don't plan programming. You just dive in and start programming, and that's really bad. But we're going to do that anyway. Let's start off. Okay, we want to build a user interface, and we want a widget blueprint. So, like I said, just we're not going to use this window. This is what we're going to use. This blueprint, this widget. Sorry, I'm going to call it my widget. So we know what it is, and it's not great that this is sitting in the root folder, the content. So what I could do really is a new folder in here and put my widgets in that folder there, and we can be a little bit more organized. But you know what? I'm not going to have a massive project here. We're going to be able to get everything we need out of probably 8 or 10 assets. So it's not going to flood our screen here, so yeah, don't do this, but there you go. Double click this, is going to open my widget, and you'll notice this is now flooding the screen. And if I just kind of minimize that, or maximize it, anyway, it's a floating window, and in the background is actually my engine, and my widget can just dock into the top there, which is fairly useful, like a little web browser. Anyway, so here I have my project, my main project, and this is my widget. And what we have here is a user interface, or what it will be it's based on a canvas. It's a T. I can't remember. It basically a 2D overlay, what you'd see traditionally associated with HUDs, or on screen, like health bars, or buttons on the screen that you press when the sort of things that don't usually have like animation or graphics, but you can actually have. You can see this. We do have an animation section here, so we can do some like windows sliding in, or graphics sliding in and out, and some sort of animation. We can also do some really cool stuff about overlaying stuff on top of the widget as well, or sending the widget to the back and having some stuff overlaid on the top, which is really nice. Right, okay, stop talking. Let's start with, well, we've got a canvas panel. See this hierarchy here? We've already got a canvas panel here. It's got a name. It's called canvas panel 0. These are the properties on the right hand side. It's not set as a variable, this, which is fine. I'm going to drop in a border, and you can see this border is just a little box, and I'm only putting this border in. I'm not actually going to use this border. I'm just putting it in because well, it stops this would be transparent. Oh, sorry, this bit would be transparent, and you kind of, if you had just an image there, you'd have this like transparency in the background, and you'd see that window there. So let's put this border in place, and I'm going to now drop an image on top of that. So let's drop an image in the canvas. And see what I did there this time, rather than drop it directly onto the canvas, which I could have done. So delete that. There you go, like that, and that's now become a child of the image. And look at that, I can't actually find it anywhere. It seems to have just scaled up to the size of the border, which is fine actually in this case. I can move it out of that, and I can drop it there, and it does that, and we can actually position it where we want it. My images are actually going to fill the screen, so let's parent them. So that way, if I change the size of that, size of my border, my image should change as well. Yeah, looks kind of kosher. Okay, so I've got an image. I've got no images to show it at the moment, so it's just going to be white. So let me see if I can pull my assets. So I'll have a look for them. But while I'm doing that, so what we're going to do is I'm going to bring in a panel, and this panel is basically going to contain some buttons. I'm going to take a horizontal box like this and drop that on the canvas, and it's at the top here. Okay, so this is now on top of my border. So just based on where it is in the hierarchy, the higher up you are, the more in the background you are. So the horizontal box is in the foreground, and this is going to basically contain all the buttons I want. It's a transparent box. You won't see it. It won't be displayed. Just compiling that and then save it, because it's a good idea to save regularly. I'm going to drop my button into, so you can see the button became a child of the horizontal box, parented to the horizontal box, and I can fill the button, and the button will fill the horizontal box, and I can then do something. I'm going to have transparent buttons, so I'm going to change some of the stuff that some of the kind of defaults of my button. So I'm going to change the opacity here. That didn't do it, did it? No, I always press the wrong thing. That was the wrong one. It's that one there. Change that opacity. No, it doesn't do it. Let's change these. Oh, it's the background colour. Oh, let's put that back. We want the background colour we want to change, and we're going to change the opacity of that, and you can see we'll just make it transparent. Okay, so now I've got a transparent button. Oh, what use? Well, the use, we can make it somewhat useful by putting a text box inside of that. So the text box is parented to the button, and it kind of defaults to the very center position there. We can't see anything in the text box. Let's bring the color down. We could actually put a bit of color in that. Should we do that? Bring that. Okay, I've gone for blue. That'll be fine. We'll also horizontally fill a line. It's obviously justified to the left, so we're going to change it justified to center. I'm not going to vertically fill because that will stick it to the top. I'm just going to leave that center. Okay, so I've got one button. I'm going to right click on hierarchy, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to click on the horizontal box and paste, and right click again and paste, and right click again and paste once more, and now I've got 4 buttons with 4 text blocks. Okay, now just you've seen me play around with the properties here of this button. I filled it, and you can see they're kind of very close together. We could put some spaces in, but just to save time, I'm just going to leave them as they are. What I am going to do though is rename them. Okay, so what are my buttons going to contain? Well, my game is based on YouTube statistics, so I would have my number of views, my number of subscriptions or subscribers, the position I am in the top 50, top 100, and one more button, and I can't remember what goes in that one. Oh, the number of videos I've uploaded, because all these stats will compare. They will all be of different values for each YouTuber. Okay, so this is going to be the button. No, this will be the views, because that's the biggest number, isn't it? Button views, button subs, button upload, and button pause position. And just so I know which button's which, let's just change the text in the text box. So in the text block properties, we have the views, and this is just for reference. We won't see this, or we will until we change it. Subscriptions. I'm going to say uploads, yeah. And the final one, position. So position, upload, subs, and views. Just make sure they're alright. So let's compile and save. We get a little tick there. We're all good to go. We haven't done anything really that's going to throw that compile off. So